What's up, everybody? Stat Sheet Sports here. Today, we're bringing you our Clemson versus Miami preview prediction. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. Give me some score predictions in the comments. Let's go ahead today and get started with the video. So Clemson comes in 9-1, ranked number 9th in the country, 7-0 in the conference. They're favored in this game by 19.5 the last time I saw it. Miami comes in 5-5. 3-3 in the conference. They've struggled a little bit. The basically all season, pretty much. Losing one to Middle Tennessee State, getting stomped by North Carolina on the defensive side of the ball. They kept the game sort of close, but Miami's offense tore their defense up. And to add on top of that, Tyler Van Dyke is out for this game after being injured a couple weeks ago. So my three keys to the game for Clemson. First key, protect the ball. They've had 9 turnovers in the last 3 games, 2 coming in the red zone with DJ's pick 6 against Notre Dame and his fumble against Syracuse that was returned for a touchdown. Both of those actually in the red zone resulting in touchdowns for the other teams. So that's not good. I want to see Clemson establish the run game. They really need to. I feel like to get this offense going, they need to run the ball and not be one-dimensional and relying on the pass game. We saw that against Notre Dame. Didn't work very well. Clemson averaging 182.1 rush yards a game, while Miami is averaging 125.6 rush yards allowed per game. So something's got to give there, Like to see Clemson run for 180, 200 yards in this game. I think they're going to win big if they do. And then winning the red zone. I mentioned the 2 red zone turnovers Clemson's had. Clemson's red zone defense is 94th in the country. They're allowing points on 86% of possessions. But the offense is 43 of 45 in the red zone. The only 2 times they haven't scored points is those 2 turnovers, and that is 4th in the country at 95.6%. When you look at Miami defensively, they're 47th, allowing only 81%, so 5% less than Clemson. But offensively, they're 34 of 40. 63rd, good for 85%, so 10% less than Clemson there. I think if you win in the red zone, can get a red zone turnover or whatever, you're looking pretty good. I think Clemson's got this game pretty much. This is just one of those games. Clemson can't beat Clemson in this one because I don't think Miami can beat you on their own. So you can't trip over your own feet and end up losing this game to them. But looking at some of the key players for this one, Clemson's quarterback DJ Uiagalelei, 196 out of 300 on the season passing, 2,179 yards, 19 touchdowns, 5 picks, a 61.8 QBR. Also adds in 405 rush yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. So it's a good season so far for DJ. And I mentioned Tyler Van Dyke was out for Miami, so the quarterback filling in for him is Ja'Carry Brown. He started last week against Georgia Tech. He went 19 of 29, 173 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. On the season, he has 42 carries, 105 yards, and no touchdowns. He pretty solid stat line. But, again, it was against Georgia Tech. So, how much can you really look into that? The running backs, though, Will Shipley, a top 5 back in the country, maybe even top 3. Maybe even the best. But he comes in with 154 carries, 899 yards, 5.8 yards per carry, 12 touchdowns. Also adds in 25 catches for 168 yards. So he needs 101 yards this game to break the 1,000-yard mark. And then you look at Miami starting running back Henry Parrish Jr., 120 carries, 569 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4.7 yards per carry. Also adds in 17 catches, 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So I think Clemson has the better quarterback, the better running back, and I think they have the better wide receivers. And the 2 receivers highlighting this game for each team. Antonio Williams for Clemson, 43 catches, 473 yards, 3 touchdowns, had 10 catches last week against Louisville and a touchdown, maybe 2. So he's played great all season long, the true freshman. And then Will Mallory on the other side for Miami, 29 catches, 393 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's their leading receiver on the year. I think Clemson sweeps, better quarterback, better running back, better receiver, and definitely better defense. Just some quick numbers I want to throw out there. Passing offense, Clemson is 71st, averaging 227.1 yards per game. Miami 47th, averaging 252. I don't think they're going to hit 252 with Van Dyke out. I don't think Ja'Carry Brown is going to throw the ball as good as he did, as good as Van Dyke does. Passing defense, Clemson 71st, allowing 229 yards per game. Miami 73rd, averaging 230 yards per game. So, I mean, they're both pretty similar there. I think Clemson's tied with one other person at 229. So, yeah, I mean, pretty even on the secondary against the pass. But third down offense, Clemson's ranked 24th in the country, converting 46% of the time, while Miami's defense is ranked 55th, allowing conversions 37% of the time. So, I mean, I think Clemson's going to convert probably around 40%, 45% on third downs this game. You look at Miami's offense, 44th in third down offense, converting 42.7% of the time. And Clemson is 44th in third down defense, allowing conversions 35.7% of the time. So, yeah, pretty even right there, at least ranking numbers-wise. Percentage-wise, Miami converts about 7% more than Clemson's allowing. Excuse me, but yeah, I think Clemson is going to dominate Miami offensively. And then turnover margin, I like to point that out. This is the only way I see Clemson losing this game. Like I said, is if they beat themselves. Turning the ball over is a big part of that, as well as penalties. Clemson is tied for 70th in the country in turnover margin at 0. They've gained 14 turnovers. They've lost 14 turnovers. Miami, however, tied for 89th at -3 turnover margin. They've gained 17 and lost 20, so they turn the ball over a little bit more than Clemson does, but also turn other teams over a little bit more than Clemson does. Not by a whole lot, though. So, I think turnovers is really the only way I see Clemson losing this game is if they just shoot themselves in the foot and Miami plays a perfect game. Because I think Clemson's going to cover the spread at 19.5. I think they will. I think they win by 4 touchdowns. My score prediction is Clemson 38, Miami 10. I just don't see Miami being able to move the ball with a backup quarterback in. I don't think he's going to do great. I don't think he's going to do very good. And I don't think Miami's offense is gonna do much against them, and I don't think their defense is going to be able to stop Clemson. I think Clemson is going to have a big game offensively, 400-plus yards of offense, maybe even 500-plus. Who knows? But I think they're going to have a great game on both sides of the ball. This is another one you want to just come out and stomp Miami, look good for the committee, maybe could jump Alabama with 2 losses in there, maybe even USC with 1 loss in there. Although I don't think that would be a good one for them to jump. I don't think they'll be able to jump USC because USC's only loss is 43-42 at Utah. At the end of the game, Utah went for 2 to take the lead. But I think Clemson still has a chance to make the playoff. I think it's a very slim chance. They need a lot of things to go right. But you win this game and you win it big like you're supposed to, then I think you make a good point to show that you can blow a team out, because that's the one thing Clemson hasn't done this year is just blowing somebody out other than like Furman. They didn't even blow Louisiana Tech out. And I guess you could consider Georgia Tech a blowout and Boston College a blowout, but it didn't feel like a typical blowout. They beat Boston College 34-3, and I believe they beat Georgia Tech 41-10. So it just didn't feel like your typical blowout. But I guess technically you can count them. But yeah, my score prediction: Clemson 38, Miami 10. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Comment your thoughts and opinions down below. I want to see a bunch of score predictions down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this game. You can give me some score predictions on other games as well. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.